Alrighty. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Family of Finance Friday on today, November 1st, 2024. I am taking the place tonight of our legendary host, Nick Westbrooks. We have, of course, DJ the Money Coach on the line. And this Friday, we're going to be talking about this upcoming election. It's a wild season, wild time, probably one of the biggest and most controversial elections we've had in quite some time in modern remembrance. So it's important that we understand this and reflect on what's going to be coming up in these next few days and what these votes even mean and what that looks like, though, for you personally in your household post 2024 elections and beyond. So, DJ, how you doing tonight?
As I always say, Tajir, any day above ground with your health is an amazing day, and today is no exception to the rule. So welcome, everybody. You're watching Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach and El Presidente live in the motherland in Zanzibar. That's right. It's so important. We had to go back to the roots to bring us back to the future, baby. That's right. So we're going to jump right in and talk to you about, clarity and quietness, and most importantly, your vote for your legacy. That's right. Your vote for your legacy. So what do we mean by that? All the noise that you're hearing, all the distractions that you're hearing, this is purposeful, intentive propaganda to get you off your game. What you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that the decisions have already been made at the national level on who's the next elected, actually chosen president of these United States of America Corporation. Okay? So let's not allow them to get off of your most important vote, your legacy, not for 2024, but for you to thrive in 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, and beyond. So we're not into politics, but we're going to give you the truth about politicians. So the first thing, I commend every one of you that understand that freedom ain't free, and your vote is important in this vertical alignment only. Number one, who is your God? Number two, what is your family? Number three, what is your business? Number four, where your vote really matters the most is your local vote. Okay? Your local vote. So I'm pretty sure most of you are well educated as we are, and most of you have already placed your vote, in the ballot box, because we are very educated and informed, and we generally, do the early voting, which is the wisest thing to do. If you haven't done it, I would encourage you, it's not too late to do heavy research on your local politician, your alderman, your councilman, your House representative, your state representative, your Senate. These are the most important votes in your county, your precinct, then your state, then the national vote for who's going to be the next, chosen president of these United States of America. Now, with that said, these campaigns, you have to understand, these are all on the same team. Albeit the blue, albeit the red, albeit the left, albeit the right, they all on the same team. You know what team that is? Elitist. Okay? These people have no desire to help the common man or woman or family. Let's not get it twisted. So your responsibility and your accountability to yourself, and most importantly, to your legacy, is to make sure you make the right vote in 2024 so that in 2034, your family is still standing and not just surviving, but thriving. So tonight's show is to educate you on what that important vertical alignment is. So first and foremost, these people are going to promise you all types of things. And guess what? The only person and the only entity that can give you anything is God and you. You're already free. If you're an American, you're already free. Your vote can take away your freedoms at the local level, the state level, the regional, and the national level. So right now, most of you, by the sound of my voice and watching this live broadcast, are in financial dire straits. Some of you are just keeping your head above water. Some of you are doing good. And the 1%ers are doing better than ever. So what you have the responsibility to do is to put on your boots, strap them up, get your lunchbox, and go to the accountability circle when you place your vote for God, family, business, and everything else. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to help you discern, what that is. Like I said, not into politics, but we're going to tell you about the politicians. So the first thing you ought to be doing on November 5th is you ought to make sure you have your financial house in order. Before you have your financial house in order, you ought to make sure you have your spiritual house in order. Because if you don't have your spiritual house in order and you don't have your financial house in order, there's nothing that will transpire with all the drama and all the propaganda on November 5th is going to do anything for you other than make your life worse. Now, Tajir is at least 26 years my junior. And in that regard, this is going to be a historical lesson for him, as the historical lessons for me when it comes to these presidential elections have already come and gone. And the only significance to this in our lifetime is that you're going to see a first in our lifetime, but it's not a first in American history unless there's a madam chosen. So the first is you're either going to see a madam chosen or you're going to see a president be elected for the second time and not back to back. And if you go check your history books, this won't be a first in American history other than a madam. Now, if I was a betting gentleman, which I'd never bet, I would tell you, you're not going to see the first that the propaganda and the liberal and the alternative lifestyles are trying to project to you, because guess what? We're not going down that boat right now. And if we do go down that boat, it doesn't matter to me. You know why? Because I have my vertical alignment in order, and my first vote is to God. My second vote is to my business, and my third vote is to my family. Now I know what you said. Well, hey, DJ, you just said have God, family, and business. Well, guess what? In BK1, it says take care of your business, then take care of your family. So I've already got my God and my family vertically aligned up. But as it pertains to the United States and the financial structure, I got to make sure I got God and a solid financial business so that I can take care of my family and my responsibilities and those less fortunate. And one of the most important things, again, is I have to make sure that my vote that is garnered and given is most impactful at the local, voting box. My precinct. The first thing is I got to make sure that my tax dollars are not being allocated or misappropriated for alternative lifestyles. I got to make sure that my vote and my dollars are not being misappropriated for open borders. I have to be very on guard that my vote and my dollars are not misappropriated in the miseducational system of the public school system. And then I have to make sure that my vote and my dollars are not misappropriated where the health care for the less unfortunate, the elderly, is not diminished, decreased. And the only way we're going to do that is to study the voting records of those who are at the local level, the state level, the representatives, the Congress, because those are the ones that are going to impact your day-to-day life. Now, you see each sides of the left and the right, the blue and the red, they're going to come out with the catchphrases or the fear phrases to get you to give up your vote, easily. They're going to give these phrases like, hey, we have to roll back abortion, or we have to be pro-choice. We have to protect the borders. We have to allow illegals to come into our country and get benefits that you and I, as Americans, should have that they're getting before us. Now, the purpose of doing that is so that they can continue to create a barrier to elite status for you and I. And what you have to understand is that we live in a republic. The Constitution is a republic. It is not a democracy. However, the politicians use democracy to have order and control over you if you're not educated and know what the real Constitution is about. And so one side of the ledger is going to tell you you have a person that's only going to make tax loopholes for the wealthy of the wealthiest, or the oligarch and the billionaires. And one side of the ledger is going to tell you they're going to give you all these opportunities just to live any way you want to without ethics, morals, and definitely without God. And then one side is going to tell you, hey, you need to be protected, and I'm the one that can protect you, but you need to give me your vote, and I'm going to promise you something that I'm never going to deliver, but I am going to take more of your freedom in the process. Now, how do you avoid that? Real simple. Number one, make sure you have your house in order. What do I mean? You got to get back to the basics, ladies and gentlemen. If right now you are not debt-free, that should be your number one concern. Number two, if you don't have your home paid off, your cars paid off, if you have young children and you don't have them in a best environment to have them grow up with your morals, your principles, and your ethics, you need to protect your vote by getting inside your house and doing what you need to do first and foremost. As accountability, it is this way. Let's not get it twisted. It's God, man, woman, child, and everything else. So right now, if you are in a home that is not a two-parent home and you have young children, 0 to 18, your number one job is to take care of that business and vote with what? If I have, a lot of debt and I don't have the capacity to put my child in the best education system that is God focused, then that's going to be a problem for you come November 6th. So as you are starting to think about all this propaganda that's being pushed towards you, you should think about one thing: follow the money. Follow the money. And again, I'm going to sit back and say, hey, let me right now, if this vote is so important to the change of America, how more important is it to the change of my home? So I'm going to sit down if I'm just an individual, if I'm single, if I'm married, if I have a significant other, I have children, I'm going to take the reins of leadership and I'm going to sit down with my immediate inner circle family and we're going to have a reality check on what's most important to us from our morals, our ethics, our principles, and our God. And then we're going to do a financial checkup from the neck up. And I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to lay out my finances and I'm going to be transparent with myself. I'm going to be transparent with my spouse. I'm going to be transparent with my children, etc. And then I'm going to say, what are the gaps in my budget? What are the gaps in my protection? What are the gaps in my freedoms? And when you focus on that, you're going to make the best decision as it pertains to your vote in the ballot box. So what we want to help you with is today is to vote for your legacy. What do we mean? We're going to get back and give to you another educational masterclass, which we haven't done in months, maybe about 6 months. It is so important for you to hanker down the fort right now. It is never going to be more important because come November 5th, but most importantly, post November 5th, there's going to be a wider gap between the haves and the have-nots. And I'm talking about a chasm. So what do you need to do? Number one, get back to the basics. Check all your debt. Number two, check and see if you have an emergency fund. Number three, check all your insurance policies or lack thereof. Number four, get a budget. Number five, define a strategy and educate myself and get more in tune with what's important to me in terms of my needs versus my wants. Number eight, become the best example that you can be to yourself, to your children, your spouse, and your significant other by number nine, showing your integrity through your transparency and look right in the mirror and say, hey, thou shalt not jive thyself. I can go down to the ballot box. I can put in my early, vote. But the reality is I am behind on this, or I'm ahead on this. The market is changing. There's going to be a reflection point in interest rates. There's going to be a reflection point in inflation. You have to know how that is going to affect your day-to-day economy. But how do you do that if you don't place a vote in your financial home first and foremost? So you're going to have a lot of people trying to garner your vote off of, fear tactics. But they know that vote nationally really is not going to have that big of an impact on you personally. More importantly, your local vote is going to have the most important. Am I saying voting for the presidency is not important? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you ought to have relative perspective to what's the most important thing. Because regardless of who's in the office come January 20th of 2025, my personal household still has to thrive. And my personal household is going to thrive regardless if it's a Democrat or Republican in that White House. And the only difference going to change is a tax bracket and tax laws, and of course, a couple of fringe legislative laws to change you who are not elite. But you can hedge that and put some protection barriers in place right now. You can set up yourself for the next 90 days to get into 2025 and thrive. And I mean this sincerely, professionally, and purposely. If you're right now $250,000 in debt, about to file bankruptcy, about to be on the street, but if you got your health and you're willing to work and you're willing to plug into a system, you can eradicate all of that in 12 to 24 months, regardless of who's in office. But if you decide that you want to play the victim card, there's nothing that's going to happen to you, but I can guarantee you this, it's going to get worse. If you are doing well right now financially, you owe it to yourself to be even more actively present to protect the wealth and the assets that you built up if the person that you voted against does not get in that office, and especially if you didn't vote down ballot locally, because that's going to change. And if you're watching this live broadcast and you're in one of those border states that are teetering on becoming blue or red, then you're more so going to be impacted, because the real battle nationally is really about 4 or 5 states in America right now. If you don't know what those states are, you might want to go do some quick research. That's where the battlefield is. I'll tell you this, a couple of them in the Midwest and a couple of them on the West Coast. But if you don't know what that agenda is, it is even more important for you to know the vote in 2024 for your legacy. You got 2 options on 11/5/2024. Create a new narrative or protect the one that's doing well right now in your house. So I'm going to assume that most of you need to create a better narrative, because if you're already sitting in the same position that we are, you already know pretty much how to protect your narrative, and you already started that campaign well before all of this drama, miseducation, mispropagandizement been projected towards you. So you're not even concerned about 11/5/24. You already have a strategic plan. You put your team together and you're in the process of executing no matter who's in office. That is the most important thing, because again, all you're seeing right now are scare tactics. And what you're seeing, unfortunately, is on one side, you got people showing you, hey man, there's racism, there's colorism, there's all these isms. The other side, you got these people talking about corporate benefits and corporate oligarchs that are taking over. But you have to ask yourself a question. What does this line up with your God? Where does this line up with your family? And where does this line up with your business that actually creates the revenue to take care of your family or the lack of? And who do I have on my team to help me elevate and thrive in 2025 based on the change in the guard or just a repeat of what we had for the past 4 years? Because if you think that if there becomes a Madam President that something's going to change, I got bad news for you. You're going to get more of the same, and most likely more of what doesn't benefit you. If a first happened in our generation ever that a president becomes the president again, other than getting reelected after his first original term, all you're going to get is more corporate opportunities, which may be a great thing for you if you know how to run your family like a corporate business. See, business doesn't have a race. It doesn't have a color. It just has principles, laws, and execution. And you have to look at it this way. Hey, man, am I running a great business? And if I'm not, how do I get on the pathway to running a great business? That's an easy question to solve. Number one, go back to the basics. Get yourself a regular general ledger, create a profit and loss, line up all your liabilities on one side, line up all your assets on the other side, and just come on down and see what they add up to be. Then look at your strong passive assets versus your earned income. And then ask yourself a question. Do I want to continue to work hard or work smart? And in this day and age, and yesterday and in the future, the only thing that matters outside of all that noise is how strong is your passive asset game. And if you don't have a strong passive asset game, then the first thing you need to do is create a business. And then the second thing you need to do is start to acquire passive assets through the function of your business. And the third thing you need to do, regardless of whoever's in the office, is know how the tax laws work for you and against you. It's really that simple. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Because I can guarantee you that the Democratic candidate and the Republican candidate, they're in the same relative tax bracket and they're running the same business game for their own house. But they're telling you, Mr. or Miss or Mrs. and Mr. Common American, I'm going to do ABC for you, ABC against you. And if you had a business and you had it properly structured and you knew how to acquire passive assets and you knew how to get out of the rat race, you would have yourself protected from all this noise. Now, certain things, depending on where you live geographically, you may have some challenges. What do I mean? If you live on the West Coast and you live in California, man, you're getting hosed and you've been hosed from a tax perspective. If you live down at the border, you've got a real security problem because you've got millions of people coming across that border that are coming across this border illegally. And I hate to say it, the facts are most of them are violent, evil. You don't have to take my opinion on it. How about you just do the research? You don't have to take my opinion about the East Coast. Historically speaking, any state that is a liberal state, they are the most taxed and the most free-nilly about distributing your dollars to other people and taking away your freedoms. You don't have to take my word for it. Just go do the research. I was just in San Diego, California in August, and I found out that they tax the small business person up the wazoo. What do I mean? They require you to have a license to be in business. Now, you might say, well, DJ, that's the requirement of the state. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you have to have, if you're doing business on the internet and you don't conduct not any business in the state of California, you're still required to have about 5-6 different licenses that they tax you on. That is not a requirement in a red state. How do I know? Because I reside in a red state. I reside in a state tax-free state. If I resided in one of those states, it would have been hard for me to start some of my businesses just because the restrictions is that one of my peers told me it required about $2,500 just to get all these licenses, and that state didn't give a rip if you earn $1. And if you don't earn $1, how can you pay those fees that they are mandating for you? And now you have a vibrant business that's growing. Now they're trying to tax you 50, 60% of your revenues. Why do you think that there's been a massive migration to the Midwest, most importantly, the Southwest, Texas and Florida, for most of the most vibrant businesses in America? Do your research. So now what you ought to be concerning yourself is check the fruit on your tree. Shut down all the media propaganda being, projected towards your family, and just do the Ben Franklin approach. What do I mean? Ben Franklin said, hey, take a line down the middle, put pros and cons on the left and on the right, put down the administration when this one came in, 2020, ask yourself a question. Where was I at in 2020? Where am I at in 2024? And how did this current administration improve or change my financial freedoms in my household, good or bad? How did they take away the benefits that I earned? And who did they distribute those benefits for? What new laws did they put on the books that benefited me or impaired me or my family? So now you've done that. Now what you do is go check their voting records. See, a lot of you don't do that. And this is the power of television. That's the reason why it's called L-I-E, vision. It's called marketing. It's called wag the dog's tail. While I'm showing you all these commercials and you're watching them, I'm distracting you from going to look at my real record. And what you'll find out that as in most parties, they all vote the same because politics is a business. And only in the last 2 decades have you ever seen in America someone who can go into the public arena to quote unquote serve the public and the people and become millionaires. That didn't happen in the 90s. That definitely didn't happen in the 80s. But now the majority of people who are trying to get a public position to quote unquote serve the people in some form of capacity, they are going there to set the narrative to become wealthy. They're not going there to vote in your vested interests. How do I know? Check their record. Again, 2020, look at the people who are newly came into office of significant power and look where they are today and tell me, are they wealthy or are they not? Did they go into government positions, municipality positions, state positions with more or less than what they had beforehand? See, this is one way that you know you cannot trust a politician. And this bodes just as well for a pastor or any person of the cloth. If you went into office and you were not financially independent, financially wealthy, but you came out 10 times better off, then you are a crook. Check their voters' records. Check the lobbyists that they're connected with. This goes across both parties. And that's why they say they all represent the same group of people. So now, hey, DJ, how did you help us? Well, I thought you never asked. Guess what? We go through 3 phases in life: struggle, success, significance. We've already been through our own struggle. I don't need to reiterate what that means. long story short, you start figuring out who you are. You're getting educated. You define some type of skill, choose a career, a job, a business, etc. Start to generate a living based on the message you were sent to become a true American. Now you get on that road to success. You're making a certain type of income that allows you some of the extras that you see on television. The house, the car, the safe community, a couple of vacation trips, the 2.5 children, whatever, the freedom to go and where you do. That's success based on how it's been portrayed to you in the American, culture. But see, significance is the game changer. Significance is when you impact people who are struggling and people, you can make them successful so they live a better quality life and they can actually do better than their parents and they can provide better for their children. Very few people are offering significance to people outside of their own personal circle. But you're being told that he's going to give you significance. She's going to give you significance. Not going to happen. So what you have to do is find yourself in position to link up to the right team, the right ecosystem, take on the right responsibility, and vote for yourself, for your legacy in 2024 so that you can thrive in 2025. Now, mind you, this ain't a commercial for DJ the Money Coach. This is a reality check. And my thing to you is, if you don't roll with us, you better roll with somebody who's got the fruit on the tree to give you the right vote for your freedom, because freedom ain't free. And on November 5th, you're going to find out which side of the coin you actually on in terms of your freedoms, your money, your choices. And at the end of the day, it's all about options, baby. It's all about options. You're going to hear, especially and unfortunately in your community, you're going to hear every athlete, every entertainer, every pastor only start one program. And then just like that fraud Fugazi, Obama, and see, I can say that because I'm a Chicagoan. And I was in Chicago before he was in Chicago. And I recall multiple times when he couldn't even beat Bobby Rush in a local position because he represented anything. He created a narrative. And here's the irony of it, Tajir. In his book, he talks about doing community service in my community, literally at my Catholic grammar school. Never saw that guy a day in my life. Facts. You pull up his first book and I start reading. He was like, oh yeah, I was down in the Roseland community and I was doing community service at St. Catherine. You were doing what? That's the grammar school I went to. I don't recall seeing you, homeboy. Just like they're figuring out with the next person that's telling these stories that ain't even true. But if you don't do your research, guess what? That athlete, that entertainer, that pastor, they're going to try to shame you into voting for somebody who got the same hue as you, but they don't have the same God as you have. They definitely don't have the same morals, and they definitely don't have the same ethics, and they definitely don't share the same principles because they will lie to you to get your vote. And there's a saying, if you can't trust them with a little, you damn sure can't trust them with a lot. Think about it. The opposite side of that coin is the same thing. The orange guy, he's telling you he's going to do this in terms of the budget, that he created the best budget in the history of America. Not true. He's going to tell you he's going to protect the border. Maybe. But at the same time, he's going to tell you, hey, man, people like you are beneath me. You're coming here eating dogs and all this stuff. It's all a game to them, ladies and gentlemen. But again, when the smoke clears and you check their voting records and you check their real facts of productivity or non-productivity, or matter of fact, detrimental to you and your household, you better make sure that you place your vote the right way. And the only way to place your right vote is in your own house. Define a program to get debt free. Define a program to have an emergency fund. Define a program to make sure you have the proper insurance policies and the proper positions and the proper vehicles. Because if I'm not mistaken, I have an insurance license, home, auto, life, property, and casualty for over 15 years. And guess what? In the past 4 years, the cost of home, auto, and life insurance has escalated on the average of 30-40%. Home, auto, and healthcare just in the past 18 months has gone up about 30%. And if you can prove me wrong, I will give you my program for free. You know how I know? Because I check my own health insurance, my own auto insurance, my own homeowner insurance, and I'm licensed. I know the industry. I teach the inside of it, and I have been charged an additional 20-30%. So imagine what you're getting charged. And that's with me fighting tooth and nail to get everything back for a lesser. I'm going to say that again, for a lesser. So while they are putting all this great festivities and, Oscar performances in front of you to steal your vote, but most importantly, steal your freedoms, here's the saying that my grandfather told me. He said, DJ, the big print giveth, the little print taketh away. In essence, if they open in their mouth, they're lying. So what you ought to be doing immediately tomorrow, instead of you going to the movies, instead of you going to that, show, Broadway, whatever, you ought to be sitting your butt down and checking your financials. And if you have your financials in order, you ought to be sitting down and make sure you maintain to thrive. And if you're already doing that, you ought to be giving back and doing the hand up to the next person that needs your help. See, the stuff I'm saying right now, this ain't sexy, especially in your community. Because you want to hear the music, or you want to see, the caricature or the Steppin' and Fetch It show, or you want to listen to the intellectual idiots, and they are hugely popular right now in our community. Some of the most dangerous people that you can ever come across when people look like you and I. So if you're watching my show and you don't look like me, I'm not talking to you, but I am talking to you. What do I mean? The most highly educated people, they will try to intellectualize you on why your vote should go for the same party 80-90%. And they'll tell you all these wonderful stories. And they'll even back it up with some amazing facts. And all I have to ask them is one question. Why has my life gotten worse? And why have my taxes gotten higher? And why is my safety more at risk than ever before with these people in office? Can you answer that for me? Because when you start pushing away the facts of these people's voting records, then what are we talking about here? See, Malcolm X said it so succinctly. He said, we're the only community where they will parade athletes, entertainers, and pastors to be your leaders. But they don't do that in their community. So when your person wants to be elected, but they don't want to be asked tough questions, you should be, bells should be going off. Red flags should be going up. It's no different when you're dating somebody. But if a person who wants to be the president tells you, oh, we can't talk about any of these subjects right here. Oh, I would only go on one platform. Wait a minute. You say that you're representing everybody. Hey, man, you know who I want? I want somebody who's going to take on all challengers. I don't want somebody who just wants softball questions and talk about, oh, call me auntie. Do you think that Putin is going to call you auntie while he about to blow asses up? Think about that. I never seen anything so damn stupid in my life. You do a 2020 interview and they show the edits of the answers that you gave and they polish them up. Now see, I hear you right now. Oh, DJ, man, you ain't entertaining us. Oh, DJ, your story sounds a little lopsided. Almost, if I didn't know no better, you're going for the other person. You know what? Who I choose to go for is none of your business. But I will tell you this. My vote is for DJ the Money Coach. And my ducks fall in line with God, family, business. So I'm sitting down, like I always do, checking my financials, checking my local legislation, my local state senator, my local congressman, and making sure that he or she is lining up to protect my tax dollars, my morals, my ethics and principles. And if they're not, I'm voting against them. I'm picking up the new tax codes and saying, hey, which one of these tax codes about to expire that can be changed in the Senate and the House if they get control over it, and make sure that I'm protected just like a multinational corporation. And see, in that regard, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter who's in the office, baby. Because albeit I am proud to be an American, I'm also going to make sure I understand that velocity and the ability to travel around the globe is at a high priority as it pertains to absolute freedom. And so you might catch that on the way home. Because there's going to be a lot of things changing. So I will give you this tip. You need to pay attention to the BRIC. BRIC. Brazil, Russia, India, China. You need to be cognizant of their next conferences that are coming up in the first quarter of 2025. You need to listen to both sides of the ledger. They always ask, Jesus, hey, why are you hanging out with the criminals? Why are you hanging out with them? Well, guess what? If I'm already pure and the real believers and the real God-fearers are already doing the right thing, there's nothing for me to impact them. I need to go hear the other side of the story so I can make some impact on that side of the ledger. That's a tip for you right there. You know what I do? I listen to the right, I listen to the left, and since I'm a deep, deep thinker, how do you know you're a deep, deep thinker? Because you're constantly reading historical information through the proper vehicles. What do you mean by that, DJ? Well, if I'm you, I'm not getting my news from TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I'm getting my news from Financial Times. Go pick it up. You'll really find out what's going on in the world. I'm getting my news from Reuters. And then most importantly, I'm reading historical books that tells me about the facts of how this universe, most importantly, America, was put together. And I'm following the trail of money and power and seeing how do I line up with them to make sure that I am in the same lane to protect my enterprise, which is the only one that matters. Because the orange man don't give a rip about you. And the whatever she is, Indian, Jamaican, passing off as us, they don't give a damn about you. So why not eliminate the emotion and get to the facts of business? Because the only thing that matters in this world is business to them. See, they will ask you to compromise your principles. They'll tell you there is no God. And then they'll serve you their God for you to bow down at their altar of debauchery. And the only reason why you're doing that is because you don't have your house in order financially, and you bought a bag of goods, meaning everything that you have is not paid for. You have it on credit, on layaway, and you bought into, living vicariously through other people as a fanatic, which is fan. So I started out this conversation and I'm looking up and we 53 minutes into it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're just going to share with you how we can help you. And you can use this information however you wish to. Here's what I would recommend you do. Treat it like a grocery store. If today you needed diapers and you walked into that grocery store and there was a whole bunch of other stuff, sales and everything, man, go to the aisle where the diapers are. If today you needed eggs and bacon, go get the eggs and bacon. See, a person with principles, ethics, and morals and have a financial house with a leader in it, meaning a man. That's right. I'm not here to cater to the whims of women. I'm here to serve God and to lead my house. God, man, woman, child. Period. End of story. And the reason why we're in this predicament today, as we will be tomorrow, is because of the abdication of real men. And the more educated you are through the institution of these colleges, the more today you have abdicated your role as a man. The more you are open to receiving the alternative message to normalize it, it don't make it right. See, there's a saying in BK1. There will come a time when what is good will be wrong and what is wrong will be right. And the only way for this stuff to exist and to actually prosper is for good men to remain quiet. So it is apparently most important that on 11/5/24, and if you're like us, you already cast your vote, to vote for your God, your family, and your business, and don't worry about who is or not in the White House, because the White House is only a symbol. because the real men, women, and children, they're already doing the work, and they're not looking for a handout. They want a hand up, and they want to keep the freedoms that they have been afforded to them from God. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to show you how we can help you. And if you don't want the help, that's great. But I do know this. When I'm called home to meet my God, I expect to hear good and faithful servant, because I'm going to stand on principles. You know why? Because I own myself. And the only way you can own yourself, men, women, and child, is to own a business. Have real estate. Acquire passive income. Leverage the tax laws, and then you will make those people vote the way you need them to vote, because now your dollars can pay for the lobbyists who tell the politicians what to say and what to do. So you're watching Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach and El Presidente live in the motherland in Zanzibar, Tanzania. And today's show may be the most important show you've ever seen if you do the fact check. 2024 election is vote for your legacy so you can thrive in 2025. And if anybody that you're following that looks like you got a ton of money telling you to vote for one person without the facts, you ought to run as far away from them as fast as you can, because you will be snarled and they are about to cut off your head. Real facts. So we ain't here to entertain you, baby. We're here to elevate your game and make you one of one, so you can be elite financially independently and call the shots, because you are the real boss. So we'll be right back as these words from us for you to win in 2024 and for you to thrive in 2025 with DJ the Money Coach. Roll tape, baby. Your vote on election day for you. Number one, I'll help you create an 800 credit score. Number two, I'll help you become consumer debt free. Number three, I'll help you build $8,333 a month in passive income. And number four, I'll help you get business lines of credit up to $100,000 interest free for 18 months. And number five, I'll give you a free trip to Zanzibar for you voting for me for you. I'll see you in paradise. I'm DJ the Money Coach, and I approve this message. See? That was quick. That was short. So what we're saying is that we want you to vote for us, which is you're voting for yourself, because we're going to give a master class. It's going to take you back to the basics and take you to your White House, so that one day, if you don't have $8,333 a month in passive income, and you don't have to worry about settling or being controlled from fear, we're going to give you the blueprint. We're going to give you access to the resources, and we're going to change your future. But you have to do the most important things. Number one, get out of the victim role. That's number one. There's no victims in this network, baby. We are victorious. Then you're going to have to apply the 4x4. Because see, reason why I wear these championship rings, because it takes mental, intestinal fortitude to be free. It takes courage, heart, discipline. It doesn't take somebody in an office to give those things to you. Let me grab my thing. I didn't talk, so I didn't talk my battery out of power. Be right back.
Okay, wonderful people. While DJ is getting his charger set up, again, you are tuning in live to Family Finance Friday, and we are reviewing this upcoming election, but more importantly, what these mean to you and how to make sure that regardless of who is the president, that you still have the life and quality of life that you desire for yourself and your family. It's important to reflect on these things and understand this because you are going to be pushed in a million different directions, be told a million different things. But we want to ensure that we're getting the facts, right? Not the opinions, but the facts. And we're making informed decisions. And that's really what we're helping you to do right now, is to help you help yourself and be a deeper, independent thinker.
All right, I'm back. Man, we so charged up. We draining the batteries. Now we're gonna fill them up. So here's what we're gonna do for you. We're gonna give you a master class, and that master class is gonna give you the steps, how to start a business, acquire real estate, leverage the tax laws for the beginners. If you already have a business, we're going to show you how to acquire the proper assets and the proper entity to utilize the proper tax laws. If you have a successful, thriving business making $1 million a year in revenue, and you are not free because the business owns you and you don't own the business, meaning you have money, but you don't have time. We're going to show you how to buy back your time so that you can now be free with time and money. So this master class is going to show you how to access all 7 spheres of money, show you how to take advantage of the tax laws that are changing, show you how to acquire the proper assets, but most importantly, it's going to show you how to protect those assets. It's going to show you how to build the proper personal credit to business credit to leveraging traditional institutional credit in the most important time in your life based on this election. We're going to show you how to formulate the proper language, the proper relationships, and navigate these uncharted waters that's going to begin on the political front, but most importantly, the state front, and then the financial front to put you in a better position of strength. So this master class is going to teach you how to create your own ecosystem, how to leverage professional networks, how to do cooperative economics, and take you from $0 to $8,333 a month. And if you're at my level, it's going to take you how to go from $20,000 to $100,000 a month. And if you're at that level above and you need to do estate planning, it's going to give you access to the vehicles for estate planning. So this is going to be the master class to help you vote and thrive in 2025. Wow, that was a magic trick. So we're going to provide you with the facts. We're going to show you the proof that we were able to, in 2020, on this platform, go from 0 to 7 figures. We didn't do it in 2 to 5 days. We didn't do it in 2 to 5 weeks. We didn't do it in 2 to 5 months. We did it in 2 to 5 years. We're going to show you why we have been successful working with Fortune 50 companies. We're going to show you why you should invest in your children's future, getting them skill sets in the 21st century. Why should your children know how AI works? VR. Why should your children not be concerned about, things that they like versus things that they need to do? And I'm speaking to myself as well. But most importantly, you should have the position to put your children in position to work inside of your company. And what you ought to have the capacity to do is to find their gifts and find a place in your company that's conducive to grow their gifts. Have you ever thought about that? Your son or daughter may not want to be the CEO of your company, but your son and daughter may play a musical instrument, may be an artist that can do graphic and design. Why not let them sharpen their sword under your umbrella? Ever thought about that? That's a novel concept. Why have them go work for somebody else and create wealth for them and learn skill sets over there that they'll make somebody else wealthy, unless you don't know how to do it? The first educational system, and the most important one, is the one in your house. Now, if you don't have children and you're just a single person, or you're a married couple with no kids and no desire, then how about solidify your household so that you can do what you want to do, when you want to do, however you want to do, and not be concerned about that next dollar coming in your house? See, so I'm going to show you the 7 ways to identify the proper insurance structures for you. Be it home, auto, life. I'm going to break down how those insurance policies work for you, how they work against you, how to put you in the right one, how to get out of the wrong one. Because if you are a homeowner in America right now, man, you're under siege with overcharging in insurance. I'm going to show you the significance when the taxes and stuff change, why you need to go from one financial vehicle to another. How do I never pay capital gains on a sale of a property? Legally, ethically, and morally sound. What is the proper entity? There's only 8 entities that the IRS recognizes, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to break down all 8 of them and tell you which one you should be in at what proper time, and when you should have multiple ones working for you, just like GE, just like Disney. You know you can operate the same way they do. These are facts. Do you know that corporations are identified as entities that can actually vote? Bet you didn't know that. But again, you listen to all these gurus out there. They show you all these amazing lifestyles that they have. You know what I find hilarious is the younger they are, the more skeptical I'm going to be about them. I'm not hating. I'm just telling you, hey, man, anybody can get lucky. But can they make it through a storm and still be successful? Or I'm a self-taught man. I'm a self-taught woman. I'm a man. That don't exist, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to show you step by step how to go from struggle to success to significance. We're going to show you how ecosystems are created, how the tax laws in the past, in the present, and the future are going to affect you with this new election. We're going to show you how to plan and live the life that you deserve to have. If you want to be a 100,000-aire, a 50,000-aire, a 1 millionaire, we're going to show you step by step how to make those things happen. Take you through the processes. And then on top of that, guess what? Because we believe in giving back to the community, we're gonna run the video again. You get to come to the masterclass. Check it out. You're going to get a consultation. You're going to get a masterclass. You're going to get all of our tools. Our Family Finance 101 3-hour 18-module course. It's like a financial encyclopedia that I put together over 24 years of expertise, having sat down with over 45,000 people face to face, having worked with the airports, municipalities, the YMCA, Chase Bank. I'm going to take you step by step through those processes. I'm going to give you everything this one time, because as they are truthfully sending you propaganda about this is a first in the history of our lifetime, that there will be a first, and it's going to change. And you need to make sure you are protected, provided for, and you have provisions with options to lead you into 2025 thriving. So we're going to show you step by step how the insurance industry works, how the finance industry works, how the corporate entity industry works. And most importantly, we're going to show you how to navigate and create relationships to have impact on your bottom line by utilizing cooperative economics across all platforms. And in the process of doing that, we're going to show you how to navigate personal credit, business credit, institutional credit. And in the process of doing that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a free trip to Zanzibar. That's right. So I'm going to give you $20,000 of real facts, services, and provisions. And just because you invest and vote for yourself because you want to be financially independent. What is the definition of financial independence? The definition of financial independence by DJ the Money Coach is real simple. My recurring expenses are met by my passive income on a month-to-month basis. And to be financially wealthy, 2x. So if your recurring expenses, ladies and gentlemen, is $5,000 a month, you want a little bit of independence, then you need to have $5,000 a month coming in passive income. Today is the 1st of November. Guess what? I got checks coming in from passive vehicles, primarily my business, not my affiliate programs on the internet. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. I'm talking about businesses that have business contracts that pay me regardless of what's going on in the economy. I'm talking about rental properties that pay me regardless of what's going on in the economy. You understand? And it didn't get built overnight. So I like the 1st. The 1st through the 12th, I'm excited because I got checks coming in from properties I bought in 2004. Properties I bought in 2017. Businesses I built in 2002. Businesses I built, as you have come to know me, since 2020. Reoccurring passive income because I set the businesses up right. Have I had setbacks, headaches, disappointments? Absolutely. That's par for the course. But that's part of you becoming financially independent and financially wealthy. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to eliminate all your excuses if you have one thing in common with me. Thou shalt not jive thyself. In essence, don't lie to yourself. I want you to go in the mirror tonight and look in the mirror and ask yourself, where are you coming up short, and hold yourself accountable and nobody else. Because I'm going to show you stories about people who have severe Down syndrome that became financially independent and wealthy. Quadriplegics that became millionaires. So what's your excuse? You know what your excuse is? You allow them to program you for their benefit, to keep you enslaved for their freedom and their prosperity. And you allow them to give you an excuse every time you don't get what you want, so that they can keep you under their thumb. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to provide you with a master class. It's going to take you from zero to hero, the foundation. This master class is not going to get you financially independent after it literally ends. No, that's not the way it works, ladies and gentlemen. This master class is going to give you the structure, the blueprint, the access, the training, the discipleship, the apprenticeship to get you on the pathway in the next 2 to 5 years to be financially independent. Some of you would do it quicker, some of you would take longer, but the reality is it's a duplicatable system that works tried and true for every person that puts the work in the 4x4. What's the 4x4? Real simple. Number 1, discipline. Number 2, accountability. Number 3, plug into a proven system of success. Our system is called 7 Spheres of Money. Number 4, put your head down and go to work for 2 to 5 years, not questioning or having an opinion about how to do the work. No different when you went to kindergarten and they told you what it required to get graduation to first grade. The same rules and principles system that they gave you to go from first grade to 8th grade to graduate to go to high school. Non-negotiables. The same system that took you from high school to a high school diploma to afford you an opportunity to choose a college that you can get in debt with. See, these are things we don't question, ladies and gentlemen. But we always question the real stuff that comes from the real freedom fighters, but we don't question the stuff that comes from the people who have enslaved you financially, spiritually, and socially. But they're always the first ones to jump up out on the scene and tell you what to think, how to do it, and who to vote for. Isn't that ironic? But you know what they think of you? They think you're just dumb. Because the reality is, I see a different narrative when they're talking to their people. When you're in the rooms with them, they don't patronize folks. They don't show up with hot sauce in their purse. They don't have Meg Stallion or Hulk Hogan on stage doing the 2-tap. They're about that business. You know how we know? Because guess what? We endeavoring it in Zanzibar. They're not rolling out no entertainers when we go to no business meetings, do they, Tajir?
Nope.
They don't roll out no ice cream and snowballs and jelly and candy. They roll up their sleeves and tell you what you can and what you cannot do in their country. And the first thing they ask you is, show me the money. So all I do is tell you what I told you from the beginning. Ask them 3 questions. What's the 3 questions you should ask people, Tajir, if you want to get down with them? What's the 3 questions you ought to ask them?
Number 1, do you have equity and ownership in what you're trying to sell or market to me? Boom.
Number 1,
Then,
say that again for him, Tajir. This is the way you vet people.
do you have equity and ownership in what you're trying to market and sell to me?
All right, so let me answer that question for you. Tajir, where you at right now?
I'm in Zanzibar.
Where are you at in Zanzibar? And do I have equity and ownership where you at in Zanzibar right now?
Yes, I'm staying in a luxury condo overlooking the Indian Ocean.
And who is it owned by?
The person I share the screen with.
Did y'all hear that? Owned by yours truly. Is it paid for 100% cash?
Correct. No debt, no liens, none of that.
The first question was, do you have equity and ownership in what you're trying to sell or educate me on? I think I checked that box. What's question number 2?
How can you help me execute my dream?
Did you hear that? How can I help you execute your dream? What he didn't add on, through my network. Well, real simple. We have a network. It's called the 7 Spheres of Money. We find out what your talents, we find out what your dreams are, and we show you a roadmap to help you get into a conducive environment to elevate that through our connections. What do they look like? We have them here. We have them there. We have them everywhere. We can take you to Chase. We can take you to the airports. We can take you to the Federal Reserve. We can take you to commercial real estate. We can take you to mortgages. We can take you to institutional banks. We have those relationships, ladies and gentlemen. Check. What's the last question?
If number 1 and number 2 are answered yes, number 3, where do I sign up?
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You know how you sign up? When we roll the spot again, you scan the QR code, hit the link, you enroll, you come to the master class. I show you the assets, the equity, the ownership. I show you the network that's been in existence since 2002. And I show you how to walk down the pathway in 2 to 5 years to create significance in your life, because we'll give you a hand up and not a handout. It's just that simple, but it ain't easy. But you know what? They will easily take your vote and your freedom on 11/5/24 if you don't vote for yourself. And the only vote you ought to be concerned with is, am I debt free? Do I have an 800 credit score? Do I take that 800 credit score and create assets from it through credit, business, and acquisitions of real estate and other businesses that generate passive income? And do I leverage the tax laws? And do I have a network that I can leverage to get me to the next phase of a successful life that I can empower my children's children's children for generations to come? And most importantly, am I going to do the work without negotiating the price of real success? That is the equalizer. That's the election 2024 for your legacy with DJ the Money Coach. So we'll be right back after the short message again, and we're going to get up out of here because you got a very important vote to make. And you know what that vote is? Vote on you. Rotate, baby. Your vote on election day for you. Number 1,
I'll help you create an 800 credit score. Number 2, I'll help you become consumer debt free. Number 3, I'll help you build $8,333 a month in passive income. And number 4, I'll help you get business lines of credit up to $100,000 interest free for 18 months. And number 5, I'll give you a free trip to Zanzibar for you, voting for me, for you. I'll see you in paradise.
I'm DJ the Money Coach, and I approve this message. Welcome back. You're watching Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach and El Presidente live in Zanzibar, Tanzania. And today's show is the most important show for your vote. Election 2024. Vote for your legacy with DJ the Money Coach. And don't concern yourself about which candidate if you haven't taken care of your house first. As they say on every plane I ever been on, commercially, they say if something happened, pull down your air mask, put it on you first before you try to help your child beside you or your spouse or significant other. So your vote today and on 11/5 is for your legacy, your financial independence, your debt freedom, your 800 credit score, that if you have an 800 credit score and you don't have business credit and you don't have assets that you're able to acquire from that business credit, an 800 credit score means nothing. Zero. So what we're going to do for you in the master class coming up after the election, we're going to take you from zero to hero, and most importantly, show you how to create multi-generational wealth through the process for your children's children. No, it's not going to get any get rich quick crap. This is going to require work. We're going to give you the complete solid foundation for 2 to 5 years that you can elevate yourself. If you're already making $250,000 and you're overpaying in taxes, but you don't have $20,000 in passive income coming in, we're going to show you how to acquire that. You know how we're going to be able to show you? Because I've already done it. If you're making $50,000 and you need to make $100,000, we're going to show you how to do it. If you're overpaying on your home, auto, life, health insurance, we're going to show you how to get less payment and more coverage, or we're going to show you how to pay less for the coverage you currently have because you're being attacked. Because again, I am licensed. Home, auto, life, property, and casualty have been. I'm a student of business, so I can teach you and train you on the inside track, not on the retail track, and tell you the right questions to ask the person who you are buying the stuff that you need so that you will get the most for your dollar and pay the least for it, step by step, tried and true. But you could choose to go watch the new movies coming out, or you can choose to create your own movie of success, but you can't do both. Or you can go check out all those amazing shows on YouTube, IG. Hey, I encourage you, do what you want to do. But it's like my man Denzel Washington said in American Gangster. You got to do what you have to do so that you can do what you want to do. And that's more evident and imperative right now, right here, in the most important election in your lifetime. So you better get it right. So I give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. What's the right pathway to walk down? And it ain't the one most traveled. It's the simplest, but it's also the hardest. But you know what? We make it better for you because we don't lie to you. We give it to you unfiltered with the facts and the fulfillment if you're willing to do the 4x4. If you're willing to discipline yourself, be accountable, plug into a proven system of success, which is the 7 spheres of money, which I created in 2000, and go to work for 2 to 5 years, and then put that side by side with professionalism, persistently pursue your plan, persevere, and perform, you will be financially independent in 2 to 5 years, and you'll be on the way to multi-generational wealth. And multi-generational wealth, it don't necessarily mean that you make $83,333 a month in passive income. It means that you're completely debt-free, ladies and gentlemen. You own your house that you live in. It's paid off. Every car that you drive, paid off. Everything in the house, paid off. So you may find wealth at $8,333 a month, because I'll show you in the master class that in America, with your house paid off, your car paid off, no student loans, with $8,333 a month, even if you live on the West Coast, you still have about $700 left to do what you want to, and that's taking 4 vacations a year. Facts. And we'll even inflation proof it by bumping it up to $10,000. But these are facts, baby. Because you know what? I got out of the rat race in 2002. I became financially independent, wealthy in 2008. Have I had setbacks? Absolutely. But them setbacks are only permanent if you stop your plan. And the only person can prevent you from being successful in life, in any endeavor, is you and your God. That's it. So, you've been watching Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach and El Presidente live in Zanzibar, Tanzania. And today's show is Election 2024. Vote for your legacy with DJ the Money Coach. But most importantly, vote for you. Go home, look in the mirror, and put the boxes up on the mirror and just ask yourself, am I 100% consumer debt free? Does the debt that I have make me money? I'm going to say that again. If you have debt and it's through a business, is it making you money? If it is, boom. My philosophy is real simple. If I have $1 in debt, I better be making $3. I have no consumer debt. I have very little business debt. These are facts. But I can tell you this. I have significant assets. 7 figures. I have passive income, 6 figures. And I have multiple corporations that I have created that build business. And we are showing you over the past 2 years that we're building the same infrastructure in Zanzibar. And in 2025, that boy is going to be kicking off 6 solid figures. And in 2026, 7 passively, because we have done the work. So if you want to get down with the real, and you want to get down with somebody who's been through it, I got 5.5 decades on this planet, ladies and gentlemen. And you probably be asking yourself, how does he look so damn young? Because I serve a great God first and foremost. Number 2, I am in submission to a great God. And I've got myself out of the rat race. So 90% of the stress that you are feeling right now, I have been able to eradicate it. Do I have the challenges that you have? Absolutely. But I have them at a different level and a different degree. It's all relative. I had $60,000 worth of debt. I had a 525 credit score. And you know what? Everybody tells you that. But very few of them actually show it and prove it to you. Very few of them can show you that they actually have started multiple businesses through 4 different crisis points in America. Been there, done that. 9/11 was here, thrived through it. 2008 was here, thrived through it. The pandemic was here, thrived through it. And now, the biggest election, if you ain't doing what we're doing, and you're not emulating the principles of success that we live by, and you don't have a system to plug into, you're going to fail in this election period, and we're going to thrive through it. And guess what? Before there was an internet, we were thriving. After there's an internet, we will be thriving. The question is, do you want us to latch on with you and give you the hand up, or do you want to be a hand down victim? Choice is yours. You can get with this, or you can get with that. Make the right choice for you and your family. Vote on you in 2024 on 11/5/24 and thrive in 2025. I'm DJ the Money Coach. You've been watching Family Finance Friday with yours truly and the Presidente Tajir live in Zanzibar, rocking out. And tonight, election 2024, vote for your legacy with DJ the Money Coach. Come to our master class. The link is in the description. Better yet, all you got to do in the replay is just scan the barcode and walk through 1, 2, 3, register for the master class. You'll get a consultation with me. You'll get my complete family finance course that, here's a tip. I created this course in 2002. I didn't create some shit and put it up on Teachable in 2020. My course actually has been used with the Federal Reserve. My course had been used at the Montgomery Regional Airport from the CEO to the janitor. My course has been used regionally at the YMCAs. Oh, matter of fact, my course has been used at Chase Bank. Hey, man. Right now, my course is being utilized in Fortune 1000 companies in the open enrollment process to teach their employees how to better understand their relationship with the custodians. Because see, here's a tip for you. That question that Tajir told you to ask, show me the assets and the equity and ownership you have. If you're really who you say you are, those Fortune 500 companies are knocking on your door because they want what you have to make them better. They knock on my door. Are they knocking on that millionaire across the screen that you're following on YouTube, the YouTube scholar, or are they making their money by selling you their bullshit? When you ask them, hey, show me your income that you make outside of these classes and these consultations that you provide me with these 100,000 subscribers and these million subscribers you have. Can you show me that? 9 out of 10 of them can't. But you ain't nothing wrong with that if they just being honest with you. If they say, you know what, Tajir, I actually make all my money from you. And I was fortunate to get myself out of my predicament, and then I just sold you what I did. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're telling me that you actually are successful in business by doing B2B, show me your B2B. Forget about your personality. Show me your aptitude in the B2B world. Oh, no. Don't show me the sponsorships and the ads that you run on your platform. Show me your business contracts. Show me you are providing some business to another business, not some sponsorship to sell some stuff because you have 100,000, 2 million subscribers. Let's get real with it. Or as Will Smith used to say, let's get jiggy with it. And see, I'm going to show you in the master class, how is it that we're about to knock down a significant sponsorship with the airline industry. How you going to do that, DJ? I give you 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count. And for you to get the answer to that, if you ain't smart enough to already figured it out, you got to learn that in the master class. So, and let me give a shout out to the Presidente. Here's a tip for you, ladies and gentlemen. You notice how quiet El Presidente Tajir has been? That's because he's a leader. And the reason why he's going to be wealthy beyond all imagination, and his kids and his kids, because he's smart enough to let the expert give the lesson tonight, and he's learning so that he'll be the expert in the next class. See? It's called submission. Sub means under, mission means order. So this young 26-year-old president of our corporation in Zanzibar that has 7 figures left of the decimal, debt free, is smart enough to just play his part because he will soon be the master teacher. You'll get that on the way home, ladies. Effeminate men. And if you don't like the fact that I said that, guess what? That's your problem. And you're plugging into the wrong show anyway. So that's my PSA. And with that said, I'm going to give Tajir the last word.
All right, you guys. So, per usual, DJs drop massive games. So, really, the point is this. With everything that's been said and everything that's happened, you take what you need, leave what you don't, just like the supermarket, but you let the message drop in that it's imperative that you're an independent thinker and that you're a deep thinker and that you're getting your finances together today, this Q4 of 2024 and every other day, because this is what we do for a living. And this is what's going to keep you up at night or let you go to sleep happily or not. So with this election and everything coming up, make sure you vote, as DJ said, in the vertical alignment of your God, your family, your business. But also make sure that regardless of who you're voting for, whatever the case is, you're keeping your house in order, because no matter who you elect, they're not coming to your house to put food in your refrigerator or to keep money in your accounts. So this has been Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach, and yours truly, Tajir Green. We want to wish you a wonderful Friday and start of the weekend. And you need financial help, call us, because this is what we do.
Yep. And we wish you a pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind. Come join us on the Beaches of the World Club live in Zanzibar. Matter of fact, Tajir, show them the video we opened up to show them what Zanzibar looks like and end it with our election video. And have a wonderful Friday and a spectacular weekend. And I want to say happy birthday to my daughter. And I want to say happy birthday to her mom. And I want to say happy birthday to everybody else. So thank you for sharing, liking, and subscribing for your benefit. I'll see you in paradise.
For your vote on election day for you. Number 1, I'll help you create an 800 credit score. Number 2, I'll help you become consumer debt free. Number 3, I'll help you build $8,333 a month in passive income. And number 4, I'll help you get business lines of credit up to $100,000 interest free for 18 months. And number 5, I'll give you a free trip to Zanzibar for you voting for me for you. I'll see you in paradise. I'm DJ the Money Coach, and I approve this message.